It is that time of year again. The Premier League returns this week, and we are here to predict the whole table again from 20th to 1st. Now, this is not a prediction, this is a spoiler. I will be spoiling the entire Premier League today in this video. I'll be telling you where every team is going to finish and why, and we'll see how that goes at the end of the season, because I'm sure I'll be 100% correct, as I always am with my predictions. Let's just jump straight into it. Starting off at 20th place. Also, make sure to please like, subscribe, share the video, and let me know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen this Premier League season. But let's get into it. 20th place, I've gone with Burnley. This will be one of the quickest relegations in the history of Premier League. I mean, I'm sorry, this team is just not good enough. This team ain't good enough. They've got Scott Parker as manager, who's failed in the Premier League many times before. They lost their goalkeeper, James Trafford, who was absolutely essential for them last year. They've brought in some decent players, Armando Broja, Ogachukwu. They brought in Dubravka in goal. They Carl Walker, which is obviously a great signing. Tuanzebe as well from Ipswich, but these feel like championship signings to me. They feel like they're going straight back down, and they are. And I've got to be honest, I mean, they were the best defence in the championship last season. They came second, but the Premier League is a different kettle of fish, and I think they're going to find it really difficult. For me, they're rock bottom. And similarly, in 19th, we've got the team that won the championship last year, Leeds United. Now, these guys, they won the championship. They were very, very good last year. They've got Daniel Farke as manager, who has done well in the championship, but whenever he's come up to the Prem, similar to Scott Parker, he has struggled. And their signings, they've brought in players from abroad that no one really knows, apart from Sean Longstaff, who's a Premier League proven player. Lucas Nemeka, I think, could be a good signing. They brought in that centre-back, that Belgian Bornau, I think, from Wolfsburg. A few decent signings, but it's just not enough. They've got some talented players, Wilfried Gnonto, Pirot, who scored almost 20 goals in the Championship last season. Right, in midfield, Tanaka had a really good year last year, he's a very good player. But I'm sorry, there's just the competition in the Premier League, the level is so high, and I don't think Leeds have got it. I think that Daniel Farke is not going to be able to keep them in the Premier, and I think he's going to get sacked pretty soon. I think 19th place. And now the final team to get relegated. This was the one that I was least sure about. There were so many teams that I guess could have been, but all of them I was like, nah, they can't. But I've decided that I think Brentford are getting relegated. Now, these guys have had a horrible summer. Lost Thomas Frank, lost Mbermo, lost Norgard, probably going to lose Wissa. They are in trouble. They are in dire, dire trouble. They've brought in Keith Andrews as manager. No experience, no idea what he's going to do with this team. And I feel like Brentford could be in trouble. Now, the thing about Brentford is they're a very well-run club. Matthew Benham, the money ball strategy, it works brilliantly. But they're not a Premier League club, right? They are overperforming to be in the Premier League for this long, and they're going to have to come down at some point. And I think it's this year. I mean, they've brought in Jordan Henderson, right? So on a free Premier League experience. They've brought in Kelleher as well, right? Good player, very good player. Very good goalkeeper, because they lost Flecken as well. Let's not forget. But they're going to be in big trouble this year, especially if Wissa goes. I feel like going forward, right? Let's see what Igor Thiago can do as that starting nine. How is he going to fare? Kevin Schade, same thing. Mikkel Damsgaard, who had a very good year last year. Can he deliver again? Fabio Carvalho. Is this year going to be his year to finally step up into being an important player for his team? That defence is okay. Collins, Vandenberg, right, whoever plays, it's solid, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think there's teams here who are going to finish above them, who are just better, more set to stay in the Premier League. Just like in 17th place, the only team that's come up that I think will stay up, Sunderland. They have done business. They came up through the playoffs last year. They had a very poor end to the season. Their manager, Regis Lebris, don't know too much about him, but the signings I like. Mark Gu, very talented player. Adingra is a steal, brilliant player. I think he's going to do so well for them. And then the headline one is obviously Granit Xhaka, right? Premier League experience, incredible that they managed to snap him up. I think he's going to do really well. Also, this guy called Talbi from Club Brugge. 20 years old, Moroccan winger, again, looks talented. Not sure how they're going to do in the Prem, but I think they're quite good. Enzo Lefebvre on a permanent as well from Roma, great signing. Sunderland, and they're a big club. They're going to make the Stadium of Light an absolute fortress. They're going to make it so difficult for teams to go there. Can't wait for the Tyne-Wear derby against Newcastle, and I think by the skin of their teeth, they will survive. 16th place, with a new stadium, it might feel like an away game the first season they're there, Everton. Everton will finish 16th. David Moyes in charge. They're not going to go down. They'll be safe from that, right? Obviously, they've got their new stadium. They've got a decent team. They've brought in Dewsbury Hall. They're going to bring in my guy Jack Grealish as well, which is an incredible signing for Everton. They brought in Barry from Villarreal. He had a great season last year in La Liga. They've confirmed the deal of Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, great tennis player. Not sure about football. We'll see this season. I think that it's a solid team. Iliman Ndiaye is an incredible player as well. So going forward, I think they'll be fine. Defensively, they're always solid. Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Pickford still in goal. It's just a solid team. But they don't score many goals. Maybe with the introduction of Barry and Grealish, that could change. I just have them 16th. I think there's just more exciting teams in the league this year. Moving on to 15th. Maybe a bit of a drop-off from last year, but I've gone with Fulham. Fulham are just a consistent mid-table team under Marco Silva. 11th last year. I think I'm sensing a little bit of a drop-off this year, mainly due to the fact that they've done basically no business. No business whatsoever. They've got a solid team, but I don't think it's an incredible team. I think that mainly the credit needs to go to Marco Silva, who's done really, really well. And honestly, Fulham should just be happy that they're staying in the Premier League, if we're being completely honest. So I think 15th is completely fair for them. Maybe they can still sign some players. Obviously, the problem with these predictions is that the league starts before the transfer window closes, so they could go and get someone. I do think they need to strengthen, probably in attack as well. There were rumours of Muniz leaving. It looks like he might stay and be that number 9, or is it going to be Raul Jimenez, who's 34 now, but he's still looking very good. We'll see what happens there. In 14th place, I've gone with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, this is an interesting one because they did lose basically their 2 best players last year in Cunha and Mbeumo, which are going to be big losses. However, they ended the season very well last year, right? I think they were high up in the form table towards the end of the season, right? Great manager in Vitor Pereira. When he came in, he transformed Wolves. I think that with him, they'll be fine. Wolves will not be in a relegation battle under this manager. And the main signing that they've brought in, Colombian boy, John Arias from Fluminense. Great player. Honestly, so talented, incredible dribbler, very fast, very techy. His finishing, questionable. But I think him and Strand Larsen going forward, Munetzi as well, whoever's around there, I think could form a very good partnership. I think he's going to have a great season in the Premier League this year. He's really going to show how good he is. He had an amazing Club World Cup. I just think he's a really good player. And he's in the starting 11 currently for most games for Colombia, who, as we know, are a very good team. So I think John Arias is going to do very, very well. They've brought in this guy, Wolf, a left back from AZ Alkmaar. Great player. They've confirmed the permanent deal of Strand Larsen, who scored some goals last year, fairly decent, 14 goals in the Prem, not bad at all. And they also brought in this 21-year-old from Celta Vigo called Fer Lopez. Don't know too much about him, but let's see what happens with Wolves. I think under Pereira, they're going to be safe, mid-table, 14th. In 13th, a bit of a drop-off from last year, we've got Nottingham Forest. Now, they've lost Elanga, but they managed to keep hold of Gibbs White, which is massive. Massive for them. Marinakis did his business and they kept him. But was last year a little bit of a purple patch? You know, were they a little bit too high? They brought in Igor Jesus, the striker from Botafogo, and Dan Ndoye, who had a very impressive season at Bologna. It's a good team, right? The back line, Murillo, Milenkovic, Sells in goal, Ola Aina, Chris Wood up front. Is he going to have a similar season to last year? Elliot Anderson in midfield. It's just a really solid team. Hudson-Odoi, what can he do this year? But I think 13th is fine. I think they overperformed last year, and they've got Europe, which always takes a toll, right? I think we often underestimate the fact that they are now going to be playing Europe, and it's going to be Europa League due to the Palace thing. So I think that 13th is a completely fair position for them. I think that's a solid season. I think that anybody expecting them to be challenging again in the European Champions League spots, I think that's a bit of a stretch for Forest this year because they've got Europe as well, and because they've lost Anthony Elanga. In 12th place, another team that has lost a lot of players, mainly Dean Howson to Real Madrid, Kirkez to my beloved Liverpool. They've lost a lot of players, but under Anthony Iraola, Bournemouth will be safe. They will be cruising mid-table, just a really solid team. They lost Kepa as well, but they've brought in Truffer as a left-back replacement. They've brought in Petrovic to be the starting goalkeeper. Krupi Jr., 22 goals in Ligue 1 last year. Oh no, in Ligue 2 last year, for Lorient. But I think he's got potential. I think he could do very well. That forward line is still Semenyo, Evan Nilsson, Cliver. It's a solid team, and under Anthony Iraola, they will be fine. They will be absolutely fine. Bournemouth, 12th place would be another great season for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was Iriola's last at Bournemouth because some club needs to get him. Great manager. In 11th place, again, another consistent, another well-run club with another decent manager and another team that's lost a few big players this summer. I'm obviously talking about Brighton. Now, Fabian Hürzeler, his first year managing a top-flight team last year, and I think it was decent. Now, they have lost players, mainly João Pedro to Chelsea, mainly Pervis Estupiñán to AC Milan, Evan Ferguson to Roma, but they've brought in players as well. Maxim de Kuyper, left back from Club Brugge. This guy will be one of the shining stars of this Premier League season. Charampoulos Kostolas, I think that's how you say it. Greek 18-year-old, great potential. I think this year, if he gets minutes, he could truly show us what he's about. And same with Stefanos Tsimas from Nuremberg, 19-year-old, another Greek forward. I think they've given him the number 9 shirt or something. I think Brighton, again, they always find hidden gems. Do not be surprised if someone explodes at Brighton and you're like, who is this guy? Now, they might lose Baleba, which could be a problem. However, they're Brighton. They're always going to have someone lined up. Brighton are just a very solid, well-run club with a good manager. And I think 11th, I think that's a decent season for Brighton. 10th place, maybe a little bit high, some may say, but I've gone with West Ham United. I think they could be building something special this year. I think a lot of people have them tipped to be much lower in the table, but I think in pre-season they look solid. I think Graham Potter could be building something. In terms of signings, now they have lost Kudus, which I think is, that's a big blow for them. However, in terms of players being brought in, Carl Walker-Peters, Jean-Claire Todibo on a permanent, Mads Hermansen as a goalkeeper, and then the main signing, the star boy from Sparta Prague's rivals, but he was the one player that I actually liked in that Slavia team. I'm obviously talking about El Hadji Malik Diouf, the left back. This guy, my prediction is he's going to be one of the best left backs in the Premier League this season. I think he could even make the Premier League team of the season. Get him in your FPL teams. Incredible player. And I think his value will skyrocket. I think he's going to be worth 50 million in a year. He's going forward, he's incredible, really technical, but really fast, aggressive. Just going to be perfect for the Premier League. Him on one side with whoever's going to play right back, might be Cole Walker-Peters, might be Wan-Bissaka. I think that West Ham will do fine. Bowen and Fulkrug, if Fulkrug can stay fit, could have a big season. I just think West Ham will be fine. I think they're going to be solid. And trust me, Diouf, he could even push for Young Player of the Season, genuinely. What a player he's going to be for West Ham. 20 years old. Now, moving into the top 9. In 9th place, we've got Newcastle United. Now, very low, some may say. However, they have basically been rejected by everyone this summer. They've brought in Ramsdale, they've brought in Elanga. They're now going to be able to confirm Malik Thiaw as well, good defender. But if they lose Alexander Isak, they could be in trouble. Big trouble. I don't know who's going to play that number 9 if Isak's not there. Bear in mind they lost Wilson as well. And there's a good chance Isak does leave. And I just think that with Champions League football as well, I think it's going to take its toll. And I think there's a lot of quality sides in the league this year. So I just think Newcastle will finish 9th. I don't know. They could definitely push higher. I know Geordies won't be happy with that. But I've got them 9th because in 8th, I've got Aston Villa. Now, they also haven't done much business. They've just brought in Evan Guessand from Nice, which I think is a good signing. Right? They've brought in Bizot, the goalkeeper. Ollie Watkins looks like he's going to stay, which is massive for this team. Morgan Rogers, if he can have another great season. They've got an exceptional manager in Unai Emery. They're going to be playing Europe. And I just think that 8th place with Europe as well could be... I think there's a lot of... the teams that struggled last year, the likes of United and Tottenham, I think they're going to improve massively. So I think 8th for Aston Villa wouldn't be bad if they can get a trophy in the process. Maybe if they can win that Europa League. We know Unai Emery loves the Europa League. So I think Villa could go on and win that, which would be massive for them. Absolutely. And I think that 8th would be a fairly solid season for them. I think that maybe they want to push higher, but I think with the amount of business they've done, I think it's fine. 7th place, Manchester United. A lot of change at this club. Ruben Amorim's first full season in charge. And I think they're going to finish 7th. And I don't think Amorim is going to last. I've got to be honest. I am impressed, though, with the signings. Cunha and Bermo Sesko, front three. I think that is an incredible front three for Man United. But the rest of the team, I'm still unconvinced. Bruno as an 8, can anybody play with that? Is that going to work? This style of play that Amorim's trying to do, the back line, the goalkeeper position, I'm still unconvinced. I don't really rate Amorim, to be honest. Maybe this season he can prove me wrong. Let's see what Man United can do. I think Šeško is going to be an incredible signing, though. I think he's going to be amazing for them. Maybe not in his first season, but I think he's got great potential. I think he's going to be a really good player. But United 7th, but with no Europe, they should absolutely be aiming. If they do not finish top 6, then Amorim has to go. No questions asked. 6th place. People would wonder where I have this team. I have them here. Crystal Palace are in for a huge season. And that is with playing Conference League. Now, Jesus Christ. These guys, FA Cup winners, now playing Conference League. Beat Liverpool in the Community Shield, and they look amazing against us. They really did. I think that attack, if Eze stays, Eze, Sarr, Mateta, amazing. Munoz as well, great player. Adam Wharton in midfield. This team is just so solid. At the back, if they can keep Guéhi, Lacroix, Chris Richards, bro, this Crystal Palace team under Oliver Glasner, who's one of the best managers in the league, I genuinely think they're going to have an incredible season. I think they're going to get into Europe again. They could win the Conference League. I'm very high on Crystal Palace right now. 6th place for me. Let me know if you think that's a bit too high, but I'm very impressed with this team. Very impressed indeed. 5th place, new manager, Thomas Frank, Tottenham Hotspur, playing Champions League football, but I think Thomas Frank is a great manager, and I think Tottenham are in for a good season. I think they're going to do well. The signing of Mohamed Kudus is excellent. The signing of Joao Palhinha as well. They've confirmed Matis Tel and Kevin Danzo. Right, maybe they still need a few more players. Madison has torn his ACL, which is going to be huge. I think that's going to be a big miss for them, but I think that Tottenham have to improve. They'll be much better than last year. I think Thomas Frank will get them playing ball, and I think 5th place, maybe even a bit too high, some may say, but I think they're going to do well. Now the top 4. Everyone's got the same 4, but in which order? 4th place, Arsenal Football Club. I just don't see it. I've got to be honest. They've made a lot of signings. The main one, of course, is Victor Gyökeres. They've brought in Madueke, which I'm very sceptical about. They've brought in Christian Mosquera, which I think is a good signing. They brought in Martin Zubimendi, which is going to be incredible. I think he's a great player. But I just don't see it with this Arsenal team. I think that top 4, I think it's going to be very close this year, the league table. I think you have 4 teams that can realistically think of winning the league. And I just think Arsenal won't do it. I do think maybe they could go and win a trophy, potentially an FA Cup or something, and go deep in the Champions League, but I think they're going to finish 4th this year. I think that one injury to a Saka or a Saliba Gabriel, and they are finished, genuinely. Or a Declan Rice or something. I think I'm still not sure, and I don't know about Gyökeres. Is he going to hit the ground running? Because if he doesn't, they're going to be in trouble. I think he has to, but I'm not sure he will. So I've gone Arsenal 4th, with Chelsea in 3rd, Club World Cup, Conference League champions, and their squad is stacked. They've brought in more players: Joao Pedro, Liam Delap, Gittins, Esteval, Jarell Hato. Now they're looking at Xavi Simons. They've got Andre Santos back on loan. They've just got a billion players. Enzo Maresca's doing well. They should be looking at winning the league or the Champions League. They've got Cole Palmer, one of the best players in the world. Moises Caicedo, the best defensive midfielder in the world. I mean, their team is stacked with quality. Joao Pedro has hit the ground running straight away. I think he's going to have an incredible season for them. I think Chelsea are going to do really, really well, and they should be aiming higher. But I think they're going to title challenge. I think they have a great year, and I've got them 3rd. But now who's going to win the league? My club still hasn't been mentioned, and neither is Manchester City. But I think the Premier League champions of the 25-26 season, Manchester City. I think Man City will be winning the Premier League, and I think my beloved Liverpool will be 2nd. And I never try to go too optimistic with predictions about my own club. I don't want to jinx it, and I'm going to do the same here. I often predict City to win the league. It's very unrealistic that they go 2 years in a row without winning it. Pep, that just doesn't seem likely to me. They brought in Cherki, which is an incredible signing. He's one of my favourite players in the world to watch. Tijani Reinders equally as well. They've got Ait Nouri, and now they're looking at Rodrigo. If Man City get Rodrigo, they've won the league. Genuinely. I think that Pep, I think that they're just too strong. Haaland again, Rodri back now. And if they do get Rodrigo, I think he's one of the best players in the world. And I've got us to finish 2nd. I wasn't impressed by what we saw in the Community Shield. Now I know it is just the Community Shield. But I wasn't even that impressed by pre-season. I don't think we looked incredible. We've lost players as well, right? We've lost Nunes, we've lost Diaz. We all know what happened to Diogo Jota. We have brought in players. Florian Wirtz, Ekitike, Kirkes Frimpong, and potentially Isak. But is it too much change in one summer? Losing Trent as well. Is it too much change? Is that going to gel? Is it the sort of the Galacticos way? Is that going to work for us? So I think we could do very well. I would rather us win the Champions League this year than the league. So I hope we go deep in that. And I think we definitely could win the league. And I will be begging for us to win the league, of course. But I think Man City are going to win it. I can't be too optimistic about this. I have to be realistic. And I just can't see a world in which they don't win it again. I just think they're so strong. Last year was a blip, but they're going to be back. They're going to be back, especially if they sign Rodrigo. And I'm already scared of them next season. I'm really worried that people are underestimating them, because we need to be aware this is still Manchester City. They are still incredible. They've still got Pep Guardiola. So it's scary times for us. But I believe. Do I think it? No, but I believe, I hope, I pray. Everybody, drop a like on the video if you want Liverpool to win the league, or if you want anybody to win the league. How about that? And I'll see you guys soon.